Several people in the forums have reported this, and I can understand why. When I was looking at installing the cell phone signal booster, I noticed that the little black cap on the roof was not mounted particularly well. The design of the cap actually inherently encourages water to seep around the edges. And I'm on a trip right now, and I found a little bit of a drip coming down the inside. And you can see here's what's happening. So this is the hole that goes through to that little black cap on the roof. And it's completely wet up in here. It's just leaking on the inside. And that's dripping down on the inside. You can see getting the inside of the cabinet wet. Now when I put the cell phone signal booster on the roof, I did some extra sealing to try and guard against this, but clearly that has not been enough. This is the same penetration on the other side, and you can see it's similarly leaking. So we need to find a better seal for that black cap on the roof. Otherwise, we're going to be getting wet all night. Now that we're back home, it's time to look at a more permanent fix to the problem of roof leaks. While we were out, we found that in heavy rains, there was some water coming through the two penetrations that are in the roof of the van for external antennas. I highly recommend everybody take a look at this because it seems like the sealant that Airstream is using on the roof is not great in heavy rain conditions, and it will leak. And you don't want water running down the inside of your walls. First thing to do is just pull off the felt covering for the back of the cabinets. That's really easy to do. You just pull out a bunch of these little black screws around here and kind of wedge the thing out. You have to kind of bend it to get it out. It is relatively difficult. After taking the cabinet back off, I pulled out my temporary patch while I was on the road and it was leaking. I patched it up with some sealant and duct tape real quick just to try and limit the dripping. Now that I'm home, I've pulled off the duct tape and sealant so you can see the hole. My plan is to go ahead and just get a rubber stopper and completely plug up that hole and then seal it on the inside here. And also go up on the roof and put some extra sealant up there just to make sure. Here is the penetration on the driver's side. Interestingly, this one is quite a bit smaller. So I'm going to measure the hole now and then order some rubber stoppers. Basically just push a rubber stopper completely up in here, seal it with sealant, because I don't intend to put anything through here anytime in the near future. This is something I recommend every Rangeline owner should take a look at, especially if they don't have anything that they're planning on mounting on the roof. The Rangeline ships with pre-wire and caps for putting cell phone boosters and other antennas on the roof, but it leaves this hole open, and I and others have found water coming through. So if you don't like water dripping down on your bed, I recommend you take a look at this and seal it up. For the inside of the cabinets, here is my more permanent solution. I ordered a set of simple rubber stoppers, easy to get off of Amazon. Lots of different sizes here. And one of the medium sizes, let's see if I can get up in here where we can see it, fits perfectly in this small hole. What I'm going to do is just take this rubber stopper, cram it up there with a lot of sealant, and that should seal this vertical penetration through the roof. I'm also going to go around outside and put some additional sealant around the black cap outside just to make sure. For this side cabinet, because I've got a wire running through here, I'm going to have to be a little more careful. The stopper size that this fits is an 1.5 inch size stopper. That'll go in the hole nicely, but I don't want to leave a gap around the side. What I'm going to do is drill a hole right through the middle of the stopper, slice into the hole, and then run the cable into that hole. There is the stopper. I've drilled a hole in the right size for the cable. Just use a utility knife to score and cut through the edge of it. Hopefully I should be able to work the cable through that slot into the hole, then seal everything up with sealant. Well, with a little bit of effort, I was able to get the wire through to that hole I drilled through the stopper. Now I'll just coat up all the holes with sealant and plug it up into the sealing gap. Here is the stopper all fitted into place now, solidly sealed up. Hopefully that will keep any drips from coming in. And here's the driver's side, also stopped up. I can always remove this if I ever want to run anything through that penetration, but for now, I don't want anything coming through there, and that looks pretty solid. Now up to the roof to put some additional butyl sealant around those caps just to make double sure. I'm pretty sure I found where it was leaking on the outside. So looking at this cap, this flat section that they've tacked down to the roof to fill the gutter looks pretty well sealed, so I think that's fine. But there was this bottom half of the cap was just tacked down with a little foam grommet, and it had a gap all the way around, so I'm pretty sure that's where it was leaking. So I've filled this with butyl. It's kind of messy and sticky, but it will definitely seal up that gap. And then the top cap also could have been leaking, so I've added some extra sealant around the screws and on the inside of the cap and reseated it. I recommend everybody take a look at these caps on the roof since they are prone to leaking.